Welcome to the ASP.NET Core Charts Control tutorial. The Syncfusion ASP.NET Core polar and radar charts are designed to visualize multivariate data as two-dimensional charts. Using these charts, you can represent 3 or more quantitative variables on axes that start from the same point. In this video, I'll show you how easy it is to add the polar and radar charts to an ASP.NET Core web application and populate data. I'll also show you how to add titles, markers, and tooltips. First, I open my existing ASP.NET Core application where I've added the basic code to render the chart. To learn more about integrating the charts component into an ASP.NET Core web application, please check the Getting Started video linked in the card above and the description below. Now I need to bind data and connect those data points using the polar series. Let me show you how to visualize the weather statistics using the polar series. I add the eSeries collection tag, which allows you to specify multiple series. For now, I define a single series using an eSeries tag and set the series type to polar. The polar or radar chart has an option to draw the series using the drawType property. I will explain that later in this video. For now, I set the drawType as line. Next, let me demonstrate how to populate a polar chart with data points. I can bind JSON or remote data to the chart using the dataSource property. I navigate to the controller page, create a model class chart data, and define the fields period and temperature. In the index page, I define a list variable data and add a few data points based on the chart data model class. Next, I assign this list to the dataSource property of the series tag. After binding data, I need to set the yName to the polar series. I assign the period field to the xName property and the temperature field to the yName property. Since the x-axis in the list contains string values, I need to configure the horizontal axis with a category using the primary x-axis property. So I include the eChart primary x-axis tag and set the value type property to category. Let me run this application by pressing the F5 key. Look at the chart now. Data is plotted with the polar series and a category x-axis. You can also provide information about the data plotted in a chart by adding a title. To give a title to the polar chart, set the title property to weather statistics. The title is added to the polar chart. And notice that the labels are displayed between the ticks. You can also show labels on the ticks using the label placement property. In the eChart primary x-axis tag, add the label placement property and set it to onTicks. Check now the labels are shown on the ticks. Next, I will show you how to customize the y-axis values in their format. To do that, I add the eChart primary y-axis tag and set the minimum temperature to -20 degrees Celsius, maximum to +20 degrees Celsius, and the interval to 5. Then customize the y-axis labels using the label format property and specify the value in Celsius. See, the polar chart displays the y-axis values in Celsius, which ranges between -20 degrees and 20 degrees Celsius with an interval of 5. To improve the chart's readability, I add data markers. Inside the eSeries tag, I add the eSeries marker tag and set the visible property to true to show a marker on each data point. As you can see, the chart displays data points with markers on the polar series. You can also use tooltips to display data. Let me show you how to enable tooltips in the polar chart. I include the eChart tooltip settings tag and set the enable property to true. Check now, tooltips are shown when I hover over the data points in the chart's polar series. Next, let me show you the different draw types of polar and radar charts: line, spline, area, column, and more. Next, to draw a column series, just change the series draw type to column. As you can see, the polar chart is rendered with column series. To create a radar chart, I change the series type to radar. Look, the radar chart is rendered with column series. Finally, I will show you how to customize a radar chart start angle and radius. To do that, add the start angle property in the eChart primary x-axis tag and set its value to 45. Then set the coefficient property to 70 to change the radius of the chart. See the radar chart, the start angle and radius are adjusted based on the provided value. Now let me quickly summarize. I have shown you how to add polar and radar charts to an ASP.NET Core web application with a few basic properties. You can download a working example from the GitHub link shared in the description below. You can also see if you're eligible for our community license, which will get you a free license key to use our ASP.NET Core products. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful, please like and subscribe to our channel.